Also, speaking of court matters, did Imam Abdullah Haron fall down a flight of stairs or was he pushed? The Western Cape High Court will rule whether the apartheid activist's death was by accident or murder. Haron's family firmly believes he was tortured by the notorious security branch at the Caledon Square Police Station. And eNCA reporter Brandt joins us now with the very latest. Kevin, a very warm good morning to you. What can you share with us from where you stand?
Very good morning to Mela. Well, the family, the children of the late Imam Abdullah Haron has earlier arrived here at the Western Cape High Court. Later this morning we expect a ruling to come from Judge Daniel Pulare on whether or not the security branch police officers in 1969, their version that the late Imam fell down a flight of stairs and that caused his death. However, the defense during last year's proceedings also substantiated the family's view that that is not true. They say that it's a pack of lies that was created by the security branch police officers at the time to disguise their fact that they tortured their father while in custody in solitary confinement here at the then Caledon Square Police Station that we now know as the Cape Town Central Police Station. We've also heard during that November reopened inquest proceedings, very heartfelt, very emotional testimony coming from the Imam's children who recounted memories they spent with their father, gave a character account of the type of person that he was. He was also a political activist, worked very strongly against the apartheid government at the time, and that is what actually landed him in jail for 123 days. That's what one of the experts also testified is that the injuries that the Imam sustained, allegedly following that fall on some steps inside that police station, does not correlate with someone falling down a flight of stairs. Instead, it shows prolonged torture over a period of time, very detailed analysis, albeit in the absence of very key forensic evidence. For one, there was not photographs taken at the post-mortem at the time, and the experts here testified that photographic evidence as part of the post-mortem was standard practice. It was not part of the evidence that they could rely on here, but they did have access to some of the statements from the police officers at the time, to Major Dirk Genis, as well as another police officer, Johannes Spyker van Wyk, two key figures who've since passed away. There was only one officer who also testified here. He was at the time stationed at the Maitland police station, simply saying that he had a very minor role in dealing with the Imam, that he only opened the police cell doors, only gave him food, that it was more senior officials within the security branch that actually interacted with the Imam. It is, of course, there at the Maitland police station where the Imam's body was found at the end of September 1969. The following year, in 1970, an inquest was also put into place to try and find the cause of death, and then it was ruled that no one can be held responsible for the Imam's death, that he died after falling down that flight of stairs. The security branch officer said that he wore shoes with the shoelaces removed, and that caused him to trip and fall. That's obviously what the family, through Weber Wenzel, the attorney firm, is now challenging, saying that that is not true, that that was a narrative that was created by the security branch police officers at the time. Just listen to what Fatima Harun Masood, the Imam's youngest daughter, told me when she arrived here at court earlier today. Tumelo?
In terms of the family, how we feel, I can speak for myself. This moment I've been waiting for all of my life. Sadly, there is no one to prosecute. We wanted somebody to be the perpetrators to be prosecuted, but there's no one. But we have opted in terms of the judgment of 1970 to be overturned and the truth to be told. We always knew that my father never just died of a heart attack because he fell down a few steps. I wouldn't even say a flight of stairs. And today, everything. Judge Tulare, we're positive that Judge Tulare will turn over the 1970 inquest in our favor. We have to give hope not only to ourselves, but to all the apartheid family victims groups that are waiting in the shadows for their cases to be heard. We are standing tall on the shoulders of our martyrs. If it's not for our martyrs, we won't be here today. We stand for justice. We stand for truth, no matter whether we're in South Africa, but all over the world where there's injustices, where people are being persecuted unfairly and being forced out of their homes and out of their land and out of their country. So today we stand not only here in front of this Cape Town High Court, but we stand here for truth and justice. We want to know the truth, and we really hope and we pray that Judge Tulare will be giving his report that will be in our favour.
And just before I let you go then, Kevin, what time is court expected to start?
Tumela court will start at 10 o'clock this morning, and that is when the family expects that ruling to come from Judge Tulare, also saying that it will never give them full closure in terms of the years that they've lost, that they would have been able to spend with their father had it not been that he was arrested and put into prison and where he subsequently died. They also feel that the key police officers, their titles must be removed, their names must be published, that they be shamed in public for what they have done, as they are not here today. They've passed on and will not be able to face criminal charges that could have been instituted against them had they still been alive. But the family also wanting to move on with their lives, saying that it's taken quite some time for this reopened inquest to make it to court. Also blaming government, saying that it drags its feet when it comes to this type of cases. Had it been done maybe earlier, there would have been some of the key witnesses still that was around at the time when the Imam was incarcerated here. But very hopeful that today will bring some sort of closure for them and that they will be able to move on with their lives. Tumelo.
Well, of course, we leave it at that, and we'll be sure, of course, to keep updated with you as our eyes and ears on the ground at the Western Cape High Court. Kevin Brandt giving us the very latest regarding, of course, the case of Imam Abdullah Haron, who, of course, allegedly fell down a flight of stairs. But that's the question. Did he, or was he pushed? His family believing that that could not be the case, that he simply died from a few stairs, is what they said, not even what they would term a flight of stairs. But Kevin Brandt with those details, of course, throughout the day right here for us on eNCA.